absolute pleasure right now to be catching up all the way from the States. Oliver Anthony, thank you so much for joining me.
How are you? How's things going over there?
So good, so good. Well, tell me, Oliver, are you still selling your soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay?
Uh, Definitely. Yeah, I don't know. I guess so. Yeah, just just different people, but it's the same thing, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so clear that a lot of people could relate to this song. I mean, it went viral across TikTok, other social media platforms, as well as charting on the Billboard Hot 100. Did you ever think, so many people would relate to this song?
I didn't realize how similar of problems people on different continents are dealing with, but like the same inefficiencies and lack of leadership and just general sense of well-being that we feel in North America is just as prevalent in Australia and all over Europe, which was, yeah. So it was for me. It wasn't so celebratory that so many people related to the song. It was more alarming maybe than anything.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, obviously so clear. So many people around the world was relating to this song as well. But I also want to know, has singing and songwriting always been something that you've done, or did you work in other areas before getting into it as well?
Yeah, so I've never done it professionally. It maybe a year and a half before Richmond came out, I had started to write stuff, and I was just using this app called DistroKid to upload it on the streaming services, and it was just something I did on the side. And I had an ambition of just trying to get away from my 9 to 5 job, so I was hoping by just putting music out there. I think I had like 1,200 monthly listeners on Spotify, and I was growing it through TikTok mostly. And my goal was just to try to get away from having to work a regular job. But I never had a paid gig until after Richmond. My first gig was right after Richmond came out. So I had never even, other than doing open mics, I had never even been on stage singing or anything. It's all very foreign to me. I mean, really, even still, honestly, it doesn't feel so natural, like probably it does to people who've done it for a long time.
Yeah, well, you were recently here in Australia for CMC last year. Was that your first time coming to Australia?
It was, yeah. It definitely won't be my last, though. Obviously, I was just blown away by. It's like I don't know. Everybody was just so welcoming. Even just the people in the airport and just like the hotel and just I don't know. Everyone in Australia just. I think it's just all the sunshine. Everybody's just like everybody's in a really good mood and very hospitable there.
Yeah.
So it's great there. Yeah.
Did you get a chance to kind of look around while you were here, do a bit of touring, or you were kind of straight back home?
Well, it was going to be really tight to do the festival at all, but it was important to me to just at least get over there once. And so we actually, I think we played on like Saturday night. We flew in on Thursday, and it's 21 hours of flying. So in that window of time, in that 3 or 4 day window, we were actually in the air more than we were on the ground. We came in, did the show, and turned around and went right back, which I definitely won't do that again. But it was important to us to go, and so that was the only way we could really make it work. So, but yeah, talk about jet lag and stuff.
Yeah. Well, at least
crazy.
you made it in time, managed to get up on that stage, then turn around and head home, I guess, on that long flight.
Basically, yeah, we were right back out again that next morning. So, but yeah, this will be fun getting to see some more of it. And then, I wasn't able to fit it in logistically on this tour, but we're already talking with people on the western side of Australia to do a run over there. It's very important to get over there too. I just wasn't able to squeeze it in this 2 week window, but I'm excited to see that part of it too. It's a huge place, I mean, I wonder how many people in Australia get to travel the whole thing. Like, I know it's logistically not very easy to get from east to west and stuff, but it looks crazy. The whole place looks crazy. I'm excited to really see it. All Americans generally see of Australia, at least up until recently with like all the travel vlogging and stuff was like, everybody thinks about Steve Irwin or, that's the first impression Americans usually see when they're growing up was, at least during my time, was Steve Irwin. So, but I still haven't gotten to see a kangaroo in person. I really wanted to get to see a kangaroo. So that's on my list this time when we go.
I love it. Well, I was actually lucky enough to head along and see you perform at CMC last year. It was such a standout for me. Like, I was standing amongst 1,000 people in that crowd, and it still felt, that you were singing and talking directly to me. And I was like all the way up the back, And I just feel like I got to know you a bit during your show as well. Like, you even recorded all your music on the phone you had up with you on stage. Is that right?
Yeah, so that all the original songs. So there was, I think, I can't remember how many there was, but there was some of them that were out before Richmond. They're the ones that people, there's a thing people talk about. There's some kind of thing about there was so many on the chart at one time, and it was like it was some kind of record. That whatever that record is that I set was actually with cell phone record. All of them except for Richmond were cell phone recordings. Well, in the United States, when you write a song, if you wanted to go in a bar and play it, you have to have what they call tangible medium, which is just some kind of abstract representation of the song to where somebody can't just steal it and rip it off. And so that was really my goal with all those original recordings, was just to get them online enough, just to where there was something there to where I could go play them out in public and not worry about. So but yeah, that CMC Rocks, that was one of the last shows I did. We added in a fiddle and drums since then, but I think that show was just me and a guitar and a bass, which was, I felt really out of place there because everybody else had like all, everybody else had drum loops and all kinds of big crazy bass and stuff, and we were a little scaled back, but maybe it worked. I guess it worked out for that show. I don't know. I felt really insecure up there with only two people. Everybody else some of those guys had like 7 or 8 people in their band,
Yeah.
But
no, I loved it. I think, less is more sometimes, and I love that you could tell the stories in between songs, little things about yourself as well, which I thought was really, really cool.
I thought it was cool seeing how it was, as far as like crowds go, it was certainly one of the best ones. If there's anything, it's like when we went to Australia, when we went to Europe, I was thinking about like, man, these people over here party really hard, like it's like crazy. And then, but I think Australia's got them on a whole nother level. I don't know, but those people were definitely enjoying themselves. It's a wild crowd.
Yeah, you're not wrong. We also mentioned during your performance that you would be coming back and performing at more regional and rural areas around Australia. You kept your promise. You're coming back. Whereabouts are these shows happening? You're coming to Australia very soon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's crazy to me that it's already January. It seems like we're still like in December. I've had a couple months off the road, and I'm been working on a lot of stuff behind the scenes I've got an announcement I'll be making on February, I think on the 18th, with this kind of new project I'm working on. But yeah, so. We are playing in some more rural areas of Australia, but like I said, still not as rural as I would like. I think the end game is like on the run after this one, we'll go out and like, I really want to get out into, is it the bush? Is that what you guys call it over there?
Yeah, out the outback, the bush,
Yeah. So, yeah. Where just curious, where's if there was one place in Australia like along our route that you think we ought to make sure we see something at, like where's a good, like what's something cool along I don't know if you got the routing in front of you or not, but what's the
I don't have it in front of me. Yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head. I mean, Tasmania's always a good spot to come down to.
Yeah, they're those little there's like someone was my memory's terrible, but I got to go back and see. I took a note of it. There's like an island or something that's got these they're like little dogs. You guys call them something else though, but it's like
Tassie
a whole
Devils?
island.
Is that the one?
I guess it is. Yeah, I guess that's what they call them. But I wanted to find the place with all the little dogs that aren't really dogs. I don't know where that is.
I love that so much. Yeah, well, we'd be so keen to have you come down here. We are pumped to have you come to Australia, though, of course. What can we expect at some of these shows? Some of the old music, maybe some new music as well?
Well, especially from that CMC Rock show, yeah, it'll be a big difference because I'll have my band, we've just you got to think, like I said, when Richmond took off, I literally had nothing and I'd never even done a gig before. So most of the first shows was just me and Joey, who's on the guitar. And then we added the bass in not long before CMC Rocks. And so now we've got like a whole band with drums and a fiddle and all. And it's a little more proper than it was. And yeah, a lot I just got done recording a new album that we'll start releasing off of. And so it'll be it'll be a lot different than what people are probably expecting as far as the set list and the songs and stuff. But it'll be good. It's kind of the next step of all this, you know.
Yeah, super, super pumped to hear that. But before I let you go, I've got a round of 5 fast questions if you're up for it.
Well, I'm not very smart, so I don't know how fast I'll be, but we can try.
That's okay. They don't have to be fast. Question number 1 I've got is what was the first album you ever brought?
Well, shame on me, but when I was growing up, I don't know, but I'd say the very first album that I fell in love with as a kid was I don't even know the album name, but it was Tony Bennett. That was like the first thing. That was like the first person that I started listening to a lot, and I don't really know what album. I'm kind of lame. I just I listen to all my music on YouTube, like just on regular YouTube, not even the music. I just like watching all these old random videos and stuff. So
yeah. Question number 2 I've got is, do you have any TV recommendations? Are you watching anything at the moment?
I would well, I don't want to sound like an old hag or whatever, but my recommendation would be to just turn the TV off and go outside, because there's nothing on that TV that's gonna do anything for you. Like, go out and get some food. But yeah, I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. I'm lame. I don't really get on the TV a lot.
Awesome. Question number 3, what's your go-to drink?
Probably H2O. Well, you know, I'm sober now, so I don't. Growing up though, it was either Guinness or I don't know if y'all have them there, but they're called Hardywood Stouts. But they're like just dark. When I used to drink, it was all dark beer mostly. But Guinness was definitely my go-to.
Awesome. Next one I've got is best live show you've ever seen.
I'd say it's a tie between a country singer named Jamie Johnson and Incubus. Probably it's got to be a tie between those two. Totally different shows, but
yeah. And the last question I've got here is, do you have the most embarrassing moment on tour so far?
Yeah, there's been a few. There's been more than once, like just in the chaos of it, where I've ran up on stage and like started talking to everybody and the mic's not turned on, and like I don't know. I really don't know. You know, it's such an adrenaline rush when you get on that stage that I'm thinking I'm embarrassing myself the whole time I'm up there. So I don't know.
Well, I'm so pumped to have you come back to Australia. Oliver Anthony, thank you so much for joining me.
Of course, yeah. Thanks for your time.
Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do, 'cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end, 'cause there